All right, deep divers, we're diving into some really fascinating stuff today. Unlocking potential, achieving big things, all that good stuff. And I gotta say, going through your notes and that Phoenix program excerpt, um, it's got my brain buzzing.
It's juicy stuff, right?
It really is. You hear about these success formulas all the time, and honestly, sometimes it's hard to take them seriously, you know?
Right.
But something about Bryant Trace's approach, it just hits different.
It's got that grounded feel to it, doesn't it?
Exactly. It feels tangible, actionable, and that's what we're going to unpack today. What is it about Phoenix that sets it apart? What's the science behind it all? But most importantly, how can you actually use these insights, really use them, to make a real difference in your own life?
Because at the end of the day, it's all about application, right? Turning knowledge into action.
100%. And you know me, I love a good deep dive. But I gotta say, having an expert like you along for the ride, it always takes things to a whole other level, You've got this knack for connecting the dots, helping us make sense of it all.
Well, I try to bring the clarity, right? Distill things down to their essence.
Exactly. And that's what we need with something as rich and multi-layered as Phoenix. So, are you ready to dive in?
Let's do it.
Now, where do we even begin with a program like this? We're talking 25 years of research spanning 80 countries, 30 different jobs, talk about a diverse resume. But there's a method to all this, right? This wasn't just a random life experiment. Bryant Trace dedicated 30,000 hours, you heard me right, 30,000 hours, to studying success. Not just observing it, but understanding the underlying mechanisms. That's some serious dedication.
It's like getting a PhD in success, really.
Exactly. And you know what's even bolder? He claims that success is as predictable as the sunrise.
Wow.
Now, I don't know about you, but that statement right there,
Yeah.
that's a bold claim. It makes me want to grab a notebook and get ready to take some serious notes.
Right. It definitely piques your curiosity.
Big time. Because if it's true, if success really is predictable, then what are those patterns? What are those ingredients that we can tap into? And that's what I appreciate about Phoenix. It's not about some mystical secret or a get-rich-quick scheme. It's about understanding the human element of success.
It's about those underlying principles and patterns that drive real, lasting achievement.
Exactly. It's like cracking the code, decoding success rather than just stumbling upon it. And speaking of decoding, one of the first things Phoenix does is tackle all those success myths we've been fed for years. You know what I'm talking about, you need a certain IQ, a fancy degree from a certain school, or to be born under a lucky star.
All those external factors that we think determine our fate.
But here's where it gets really interesting. Phoenix doesn't just say, nope, those are wrong, and move on. It systematically breaks them down, point by point. Take intelligence, for example. The belief that success is all about being super smart.
Right, that it's some kind of innate gift.
Exactly. But Phoenix says, hold on a minute. While intelligence can be helpful, it's not the deciding factor. It points to countless examples of people with average intelligence who went on to achieve amazing things. People who built businesses, wrote best-selling books, made groundbreaking discoveries by developing other critical skills.
That's because it's not just about what you know, it's about how you use it, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's about those other crucial ingredients like resilience, focus, the ability to connect with others, to build relationships, to persevere even when things get tough, and they will.
It's about recognizing that intelligence is a tool. And like any tool, it can be sharpened and developed.
Okay, so Phoenix is saying instead of getting hung up on what we lack, oh, I'm not smart enough, or I didn't go to the right school, it's about focusing on what we can cultivate. It's about recognizing that we all have this potential for success, but we might need a new set of instructions to unlock it.
We need a different framework, a different perspective.
Exactly. And that brings us to this fascinating concept that underpins the whole Phoenix program, something they call the success instinct.
The success instinct. I like that.
It's like flipping the script on that whole survival of the fittest narrative, Instead of just trying to survive, Phoenix says humans are wired for something more. We're designed to thrive, to achieve, to leave our mark on the world.
Which makes perfect sense. We're naturally curious, innovative, always looking for ways to improve things.
Right. From the moment we're born, we're exploring, experimenting, learning, growing.
We're constantly pushing boundaries, testing our limits, striving for something beyond just basic existence.
It's like we're hardwired for progress. It's in our DNA.
Exactly. And that's what Phoenix taps into, that inherent drive that's within us all.
But here's the catch. Phoenix says that just like any compass, it needs to be understood. We need to know how to use it effectively, how to calibrate it to point us in the right direction. Otherwise, we're just wandering around aimlessly, hoping to bump into success.
We need the map and the compass to guide us.
Precisely. And that's where the real meat of the program comes in what Phoenix calls the 7 ingredients of success. Okay,
Yeah.
so we're picking up where we left off, right? Talking about that success instinct, that drive to achieve that's baked into us, like at our core. But then there's this whole idea of the 7 ingredients. It's like Phoenix is giving us the recipe, right?
It's like, okay, you've got the hunger. Now here's how you actually cook the meal.
Love that analogy. And we were just getting started, right? We talked about the importance of peace of mind, that inner foundation. But what comes next? How do we build on that?
Well, imagine this. You've cleared the mental clutter. You've got that sense of inner peace. Now you need the energy to actually do something with it, right?
Yeah.
To bring those dreams to life. That's where the second ingredient comes in, health and energy.
It's like Phoenix is saying, all right, you've got the blueprint. Now let's get you the tools and fuel to actually start building.
Exactly.
And I love how Phoenix goes beyond that typical advice, like eat your veggies and get 8 hours of sleep. It's deeper than that.
It's about recognizing that connection, that synergy between our mental and physical energy.
Totally. It's like how many times have we tried to power through something, but our body's just like, nope, not happening.
Right. You can't run on fumes forever. Phoenix is really big on that point. Neglecting our physical well-being, it has this ripple effect,
It impacts everything.
Your focus, your mood, your relationships.
It's like trying to run a marathon on an empty tank.
Exactly. But on the flip side, when we actually prioritize our health,
Yeah.
it's like unlocking this reservoir of energy, right?
Suddenly you're like, where did that come from?
Exactly. And that energy allows us to show up fully in every area of life, work, relationships, personal pursuits.
So it's not just about looking good in the mirror. It's about feeling good, feeling that vitality, that stamina to go after what we want.
And having the resilience to bounce back when things get tough, which they inevitably do.
Man, I'm starting to see a pattern here. It's like each ingredient builds on the last one, creating this like upward spiral of positive change.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
And that upward spiral continues with the third ingredient, loving relationships.
Okay, yeah. Let's talk about that because none of us are meant to do this alone, right?
Absolutely not. We're wired for connection.
We need that support system, that tribe to cheer us on, catch us when we fall.
And sometimes give us a little nudge when we need it, right?
100%. And this is where Phoenix gets really fascinating because it doesn't just say relationships are important. It delves into the science of it all. It talks about how our interactions with others impact our brain chemistry, our stress levels, even our physical health.
It's incredible, right? The impact that our relationships have on our overall well-being.
It's huge. It's like Phoenix is saying, show me your friends and I'll show you your future.
I love that because it's so true.
So deep divers, take a moment, think about your inner circle. Are these people lifting you up? Or are they, maybe holding you back a bit?
It's an important question to ask ourselves.
And remember that laughter test we talked about? It's such a simple thing, but it's like this barometer for the health of our relationships.
Totally.
When was the last time you had a good, genuine belly laugh with someone you care about? It's the best feeling.
The best. Okay, so we've covered some big ones. Peace of mind, health and energy, loving relationships. But we can't ignore the elephant in the room, right?
The big one.
The big one, money. Or as Phoenix puts it, financial freedom. Because let's be real, financial stress can be a major roadblock on the path to success.
100%. It can consume your thoughts, your energy. It can create so much anxiety.
Absolutely. And to Phoenix credit, it doesn't shy away from this at all. It acknowledges how important finances are in our lives, but it also challenges us to reframe our relationship with money.
Because it's not the end goal, right? It's a tool.
Exactly. It's about having the resources and that peace of mind to pursue our passions, to support the people we love, to make a real impact.
To live a life of purpose and meaning without constantly worrying about money. Exactly. And to have the freedom to make choices that align with our values. So we've got 4 down. Deep divers, peace of mind, health and energy, loving relationships, and financial freedom.
All right, deep divers, we are back. And let me tell you, we are diving deep into the final stretch of Phoenix, those last 3 ingredients that bring it all together. We've got that solid foundation, right? Peace of mind. We're fueled up with health and energy. We've got those loving relationships, that support system. And of course, we've got that financial freedom to make it all happen. But now what? Where do we even direct all this energy? What's the driving force behind it all?
See, and this is where it gets really, really interesting because the next ingredient, it's all about the why. Like, why are we doing any of this in the first place? Phoenix calls this worthwhile goals and ideals. Oh, I love that because it's so easy to get caught up in the how, right? Like, how do I make more money? How do I get that promotion? But Phoenix is pushing us to go deeper. Like, what's the bigger picture here?
Exactly. It's about connecting with something larger than ourselves,
Yeah.
something that gives our lives meaning and purpose. It's about getting really clear on our values. Like, what do we stand for? What kind of impact do we want to have on the world?
It's like that saying, if you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. But
Yeah.
Phoenix, it's like it's giving us that map, It's helping us define exactly where we want to be and why.
Yeah, and it's not always easy, right?
Mm.
Because sometimes it means asking ourselves those tough questions, like,
Yeah.
what really matters to me? What legacy do I want to leave behind?
Deep stuff, but
Yeah,
so important. It's about moving beyond just checking things off a to-do list.
absolutely. It's about aligning our actions with our values so that we feel a sense of purpose in everything we do.
Okay, so we've got the what those worthwhile goals and ideals, but how do we even begin to achieve them? I mean, sometimes those big dreams can feel really overwhelming.
And that's where the sixth ingredient comes in, self-knowledge and understanding. Because to achieve those big goals, we have to know ourselves inside and out. Phoenix reminds us that true success, it always begins with self-awareness.
It's like taking a good hard look in the mirror, right? And not just at our reflection, but really looking deeper.
Exactly. What are our strengths? What are our weaknesses? What are those limiting beliefs that might be holding us back?
Because we all have them, right? Those voices in our heads that say, you're not good enough or you're going to fail.
We all have those voices. But Phoenix gives us the tools to quiet those voices. Things like journaling, meditation, even just spending time in quiet reflection.
It's about becoming our own best friend, but also our own best coach.
Yes, we're identifying those areas where we can grow and improve. We're giving ourselves permission to be a work in progress.
Okay, so let's recap. We've laid the groundwork, right? Peace of mind, health and energy, loving relationships, financial freedom. Those are essential. And now we've got these powerful guiding principles, worthwhile goals, self-knowledge. But where does it all lead? What's the ultimate destination?
Ah, the million-dollar question. And that, my friend, is where the seventh and final ingredient comes in. Phoenix calls it a sense of personal fulfillment.
Personal fulfillment. It's like that feeling of like, yes, this is what it's all about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's that deep sense of satisfaction and contentment that comes from living a life that's true to ourselves, a life that's aligned with our values.
It's like, when you finally achieve a big goal that you've been working towards for so long, there's this incredible feeling of accomplishment, of course, but it's more than that, right?
It's deeper. It's like, I did it. I actually did it.
Yeah.
And it feels amazing.
And that feeling, that sense of fulfillment, it's not just a one-time thing. It's something we can cultivate and experience on an ongoing basis.
Absolutely. It's a journey, not a destination.
So, deep divers, as we wrap up this deep dive into Phoenix, remember this. Unlocking your potential, it's not about following some rigid formula. It's about understanding yourself, setting those intentions, and taking action.
And it's about enjoying the journey
Wow.
because that's where the real magic happens.
100%. It's about finding joy in the process, celebrating the wins, both big and small, and always, always striving to become the best versions of ourselves. So keep exploring, keep growing, keep diving deep, deep divers. And until next time, we'll see you out there.